Hi, I'm Tom Dignan. Welcome to Cook This.
Welcome. You are joining us on RBTV with our show Cook This. Today on Cook This, we have Chris Forney from Sawmilly's right here in Riverside.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. We're excited to have some of your sandwiches today. Joining us on our panel is Dan Bonarigo, Christy Hughes from our science department, and Patti Farlee.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. So, Chris, tell me what we're going to get into today.
Well, we're actually going to do a couple of things. We got 2 sandwiches that we're going to make, as well as a side of potato chips.
Excellent.
So I feel like we should start with potato chips.
Let's get going with potato chips then. So tell me a little bit about Sawmilly's. I know you guys are relatively new. How long have you been there?
We opened in December of 2016. Ooh, I got a spill. So we've been open a little over 2 years now.
This is some heavy artillery, Chris.
Oh, yes,
Tell
definitely.
me about this. This looks like something that...
This is our mandolin. So if you want to ever do potato chips at home, I do recommend actually purchasing a mandolin. Sometimes you can get a cheese grater that has a mandolin on the side. I don't recommend them just because they're always one size, and if you're going to do potato chips, you actually need a specific size. Oh, excuse me. So whenever you do potato chips, you want to make sure that you hold your potato real nice and tight, bring it down at an angle, and you're going to just gently cut. So what you're looking for is something a little bit like this, just a little bit of see-through. If you do any thinner, the oil ends up just being absorbed and it's just very, very greasy. If you do any thicker, it just puffs up and absorbs oil. So what you want is just that perfect cut.
Now, I have to warn you, Chris, and I don't want to take your mind off of this, what could be, well, we'll just say I don't want to take your mind off of this.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Miss Farlee over here is one of our chef in restaurant, our teachers of future cooks and
Yes, I am.
chefs and so forth.
So then you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I do. I do. I don't get the mandolins out, though. We have a few.
It's a special day.
Yeah.
Lots of training.
I think they need to learn. Yeah.
It is my sincere hope that everybody watching learns a thing or two today as well.
Yes. Well, I'm dealing with basics, though. I'm just trying to teach them how to hold the knife. And, you know.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Now, how did you get into cooking?
Well, I've always wanted to be a chef. Even when I was a little kid, we would go to like cookouts and everything like that. And, you know, we'd get like those sub sauces and everything like that you'd see in sandwiches. And I would go home and actually actively try to recreate them as best as I could. Even throughout high school and everything like that, cooking was my go-to thing. I absolutely adore it.
And now tell me, do you cook at home?
I do.
Or are you just so tired of cooking that you don't cook anymore when you get home?
You would figure that I would be,
Right.
but no, on the contrary, I am not tired of cooking when I go home. I like to cook for my wife, my kids. We're always trying and experimenting with new things. Just for Mother's Day last year, I cooked my wife a buttermilk panna cotta,
Yum.
which was absolutely delicious.
Very good. Is this your own mandolin? Did you bring your own equipment today?
I did bring some of our equipment from the restaurant. We actually have a smaller plastic mandolin. I didn't particularly care for it.
Yeah?
So I brought my larger metal one because
I was
it's
gonna
much
say,
preferred.
I would have been shocked if we had this in the studio. So we have all of our potatoes, or at least that potato. That
Yeah.
makes a lot of chips. out
That
of one
does actually make a
potato.
lot of chips. A lot of
Yeah.
folks tend to think that if you're going to make potato chips, you got to have a lot of potatoes, and that's contrary.
You just got to cook them right.
Exactly. When you get just that right cut and everything like that, you're going to get quite a bit out of this. The reason why we put them in
Right, I was
water
about to
right here,
ask.
it actually helps leach out some of the starch. So whenever you're cooking any kind of potato chip, or even this works with French fries as well, soaking them a little bit first brings out the starch. Starch is what actually creates the color that you typically see. So if you go straight from cutting a potato chip to an oil and let it cook for a certain amount of time, it's going to come out really, really dark.
I see.
And it's because it's burning all the sugar.
I see.
So by soaking it in water, we like For us, we actually soak these overnight. Helps bring out all of that leach. We're just doing a quick soak here.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go from our water.
Stepping over to the
And we're going to go
action here.
straight to the fryer.
I'm a tiny bit scared, Chris. I'm being honest.
Well,
Should
I
stand
recommend that you
back?
stand
Okay.
back because otherwise you're going to get popped.
I will stand way back. I'm supposed to stand.
Put your face right over it. And see what it looks like.
Steam? No, that is not your friend.
No. Now, a couple of us 70s babies probably remember the Fry Daddies of the 70s. Remember the Fry Daddies?
We
Not looking at me.
Yeah.
We actually have some of those in the food room.
Do you?
Yes, we do.
What are we talking
The
about?
fry
They were
bags,
the
the fry
electric
babies, fry daddies.
deep fryers. It
Yeah.
was kind of like an Instapot, but it was made just
Yeah.
Yep. That's before we knew that.
And then they realized that it wasn't good for you.
Well,
They've been on the
I
shelf,
think
but it's coming in.
they may have known that and not cared so much.
Johnson and I probably grew
Mr.
up on a lot of fried
Bonarigo.
food. Did
I
we,
think
Ms.
fried
Johnson?
food is kind of making a comeback, though, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
It's a lot more
Air
popular.
fryers. They have air fryers now.
I haven't used that yet.
Yeah, I actually have used an air fryer. I was kind of surprised by it.
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend it all the
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
But if you want to make the occasional item, go for it.
Okay.
We used
So
it a lot.
what oil do you use, Chris?
We use 100% vegetable oil.
100%, because it gets very hot, right?
Exactly right. Yeah, you want to. Whenever it comes to any kind of oil, you want a high smoking point.
Right.
So, vegetable oil is a good one. Obviously, soy oil is a good one. A lot of restaurants will typically go with like peanut oil and stuff like that. We try not to. We're very allergy conscious.
Right.
So even peanut oil is going to induce somebody with like anaphylaxis
I
and anything
see.
like that.
Not good.
Exactly right.
Right.
So do you never dry your potatoes? Well, I would have been afraid to have just dropped them in as
Oh,
wet as
no,
they
no,
were.
I completely understand. No, typically what we do is we drain off the water and everything like that, and then put into the fryer. Obviously, can't do that. But the more you pat out and dry, you're actually taking the moisture out. So if you go to fry it, it's not going to cook appropriately. It's going to burn faster.
So you don't want it completely dry. You just want
Correct.
it.
Yeah, you want
I thought so too.
you want as little water as possible, but not taking so much out that it's it's dry. I mean, you see, if you see just a basic dry potato, you see how that's already starting to
Right.
look.
Yeah.
That's no good.
Right.
What kind of potatoes do you like best for frying into potato chips?
We just use a basic Idaho russet potato. Each potato is actually different with its starch content.
Right.
So if you do things like your standard bagged potato chips at the store and everything like that, they use Yukon Gold. I've seen red potatoes that have been sliced up and fried, but you always have to go with the russet.
I see.
I mean, at the end of the day,
They're pretty sturdy potato.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
And when you look at it at the very, very end, it's one of those things that we're just honoring legacy. When Choo Choo first opened, which we share an owner, Sawmilly shares an owner with Choo Choo. When Choo Choo first opened, their very first bar snack were potato chips.
Oh.
So that kind of carries itself over with us. So we're kind of honoring our legacy, if you will, by just sticking to the classics.
So we're not going to see any sweet potato fries.
No sweet potato fries.
I've had a lot of these potato chips.
Yes.
Not necessarily because I was sitting at the bar all the time, but because we've been in Riverside a long time, my husband, my family, and I, and they are delicious. So
Well,
how
thank you.
long does this take? How many minutes total?
So you're looking at roughly about 2 minutes or so,
not long.
2 to 3 minutes.
All
It
right.
doesn't take very long at all. What you actually want to look for is just your color.
All
Because
right.
as you can see, it's starting to crisp up and everything like that and crinkle.
Well, they look great. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment with Chris Forney from Sawmilly's and Cook This. Welcome back. We're at Cook This today with Chris Forney from Sawmilly's, and he's just made these beautiful homemade chips in the fryer here. A couple minutes of frying going on with these, and they look delicious. I don't know if you guys can get right in there on those chips. We have 3 judges with us today, Mr. Bonarigo, Ms. Hughes, and Ms. Farlee, and they're going to get to taste these delicious chips here momentarily.
So we're just going to do a quick plating. Just going to go straight into these boats here. And then I've also actually brought an extra item for you guys.
Surprise.
So obviously we didn't do enough chips.
They'll have to share.
We'll share.
So yes, we're gonna just set that aside. We've got 2 boats
I'll eat
for
off
you.
both boats.
Yeah, we can share.
There we go.
And then our extra item that we have,
A little sauce.
Very good.
We know Chris has been telling us about his love for sauces, and how that was his beginnings of cooking.
so we actually have a homemade onion dip that pairs very well
Oh, yeah.
with our
nice.
chips.
French
Please
onion.
enjoy.
Delicious.
So our onion dip is actually made with roasted red peppers, scallions, a little bit of sour cream, mayonnaise, celery salt,
Wow.
garlic, and pepper.
Yum.
It's really good.
It's like gourmet French onion dip. huh?
Exactly right.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And it's very, very simple to make at home too. It's
Right.
remarkably easy.
Well, this is exciting. Now, get a look at those chips again if you can, guys. Any of you people who've been in Riverside for years might remember those sitting on top of the bar in the Choo Choo, Sawmilly's sister restaurant. They're located right next door to each other on Burlington.
Correct.
And you specialize in soups and sandwiches
Correct.
and lunch fare, right?
Correct.
So next we're going into some sandwiches.
Correct. So up next, we're actually going to do our homemade sloppy joe.
Ooh. Sloppy Joes.
So it's very,
Delicious.
very simple. Let me
Now,
just
is
get-
this a beef sloppy Joe, or what do you do?
It is a beef sloppy joe.
Excellent. How many of you guys like sloppy Joes
I'm a
over
big
there?
fan.
Big fan of sloppy
Yes,
Joes?
big
Yeah.
fan.
Me too.
You know what it is? It's
I
one of those
prefer a
things.
medium sloppiness.
Yes.
Medium sloppy.
I believe we've had sloppy Joes together once before, Mr.
We have.
Bonarigo. This
We
is
have.
this is a reunion of sorts. So we've got some. What do you like? Sirloin, Chuck? What do you do? What do you do for your sloppy Joes?
We actually make our ground beef in-house.
Wow.
We grind it ourselves. So this is just a mixture of
basically
just like New York strip.
Wow,
Which we take.
fancy stuff,
Yeah,
huh?
we get the New York
Very
York
good.
strips in. We actually cut them down. Any of our like extra scrapings and everything like that, we grind down into our own meat, and then we cook. And that's what we
Delicious.
use for our base.
Oh goodness, they have to be good then.
So this is literally just that ground beef that we made in-house, and then I have a mixture of carrot, celery, and onions.
What's the fancy name for that again?
Mirepoix.
Mirepoix, right. I know what it is, I don't know how to say it.
It's French.
Yes. What does that mean, mirepoix?
Language of the kitchen.
See, that's one of those
it
things.
sounds like look at something. I don't know.
You know, it's one of those
French
things like I know it in the back of my
Right,
mind,
right.
but you can't quite place it. So what we do is just let those cook together for just a few minutes, so that way all those flavors can marry.
Smells
And then we
great
start
already.
to add all of our other ingredients.
Now you have secret ingredients in here that you don't
Nothing
reveal?
secret, so if you'd like to
secret?
know, I'll be happy to let you know.
Let's hear it. What's in there?
So this is our wet ingredients.
A little mustard.
So mustard, ketchup, a little bit of molasses, Worcestershire. Thank you so much.
Sir?
And then we have fire roasted tomatoes here,
That's going to be yummy. I like it.
and then just a
like
little
it.
bit of brown sugar.
Yum. Very, very good.
And then we just let that all cook together.
Now, is a sloppy Joe something you would have on the menu every single day?
It is actually.
Okay.
Our old menu that everybody kind of got accustomed to, we cycled out for a brand new menu. There's a few items on there
Right.
that are still from the original menu that are obvious favorites. We have our turkey sandwich, which if you've ever stopped into Sawmilly before, that's our best-selling sandwich. It's one of those things that if anybody comes in, it's like if you've had that before, it's the same, I promise. Our sloppy Joe was actually one of those items that we did as a special originally, and then just changed it over, added a couple new things, changed up the recipe just a little bit, and then added to our regular menu.
Well, as I mentioned, Chris, my family and I live here in Riverside, and we come to Choo Choo and Sawmilly quite a bit. More to Choo Choo because of the time, because of the
Of course,
hours.
yep.
I know you guys are a lunch place, but I love how Scott's always redoing the menu and fixing it up,
definitely.
and you never know quite what you're going to see.
Exactly right. For us over at Sawmilly, every couple of days we try to switch up our specials. So you're Gonna see probably one specific special, maybe 2 or 3 days, and then we'll switch that up and try to do something else.
Got it.
Just this last week, because for St. Patrick's Day,
some
we
corned
had
beef.
corned beef. In fact, we're still
Yum.
running the corned beef if anybody wants to stop in.
I love corned beef. Now, there's a couple things I'd like to say about Sawmilly's, having been there. It's wonderfully kid-friendly.
It is.
They have kids drinks and kids meals and kids portions, a separate menu for that.
Correct.
And you have delicious soups as well and tasty desserts. And I really like how you guys are focused on recycling and reusing.
Yes.
And there's a lot of focus there on not creating a lot of waste. which
Exactly right.
I think goes a long way with some of these youngsters we have moving into the neighborhood. for
Definitely,
sure.
definitely.
Yeah, you guys are doing it right, really.
We definitely try to keep up with what everybody else, is typically looking for. So, we have a whole trash system that's completely unique and original to us. We
It's
actually
cool.
have chutes.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Like the kids will love the trash system alone. It's like chutes and ladders, and you got to put them in the right hole and so forth. So I appreciate that. And you guys have been open for a couple years now.
Yes, we opened in
Business is
December
doing-
2016.
Business is going well.
Very well.
Good. Good. That's nice to hear.
Do you ever think that they'll expand their hours beyond lunch?
We'd love to. That's something we'd love to get to. It's just one of those things, like we don't have enough bodies in the restaurant to
Sure.
really kind of stay open later.
Okay.
So the goal is to, once we have enough folks behind the counter, then we can expand out.
Sure.
Another shout out, having been there for almost 13 or 16 years now. The same guys have been working at Choo Choo and Sawmilly, some of them since the very beginning.
Yep.
It's pretty amazing to have that kind of employee loyalty.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. It's not something you typically see
Right.
in any kind of business,
Right.
really.
So we let this get good and warm. Now,
Yep.
what kind of bread do you like for a sloppy joe? I know bread's a very specific
Yeah.
thing for people, very heartfelt. We have several
Can I have
breads
a towel,
down here.
please? Thank
sure
you.
can. And we're going to take a quick break here in a second. But before we do, let's get a look on this bread. What kind of, are we going to put it on these rolls right here?
Correct.
All right.
So these
How
are
did
our
I know
Parker
that?
House rolls. These are actually baked for us daily.
Oh my.
So a lot of folks like to come in and ask, what exactly, is a Parker House roll? And the best way to kind of describe it is it's very similar to like challah bread. So it's very light, very fluffy, very chewy. Once it's warmed up, it's very, very soft and holds up very well to our sloppy joe mix. And we actually also have a couple other sandwiches that we use this with. Right now we actually have a special with our roast beef that actually uses this.
Okay, well, Chris, we're going to take a quick break while you build some sloppy joe sandwiches
Definitely.
here for our judges. So come back to us in a little bit at Cook This and check out Sawmilly's Sloppy Joe. Welcome back to RBTV's Cook This. I'm Sarah Johnson, hosting today, and I'm here with Chris Forney from Sawmilly's in Riverside. He's cooking up some delicious smelling sloppy joes for our judges over here, Mr. Bonarigo, Ms. Hughes, and Ms. Farlee.
Can't wait.
Woo-wee.
Yes,
Hello.
It's been a
Now.
long break. We
Please,
kind of are
partake.
ready to
Now, we understand we have some Sloppy Joe's lovers over here,
Yes.
which is a
Yes.
classic lunchtime, well, dinner too, I guess, but we think of it often as a school lunch thing, right?
Yeah, correct.
But these are not your school cafeteria Sloppy Joe's.
Sloppy
folks.
joes by no
These
means have to be like those lunch cafeteria
canned
meals.
sort of
Yeah.
things. So we've got some molasses and Worcestershire and tomatoes, smoked tomatoes, and some mirepoix
Correct.
in this Sloppy Joe's on some Parker House rolls with homemade pickles, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So the one last thing that we're just going to very quickly add to this is we're going to just add a little bit of cumin and a little bit of salt and pepper.
Yum, I love cumin.
And then
It's
we'll-
smoky, yum, yum, yum. It's yummy, yummy.
really changes the profile.
Would you say this is your turkey's your most popular sandwich,
turkey
you
is our
say?
most
What's
popular
your
sandwich.
second most popular
Our second most
sandwich?
popular sandwich is actually our cubano.
Oh, I love that one. That's a good sandwich. That's
It's very good. It started as a special, just like the Sloppy Joe did, and kind of graduated, if you will.
Graduated, huh, to the permanent list.
Correct.
Right.
board.
Right. So the other thing I love about Sloppy Joes is they freeze well, they save well, they feed a big group of people for not a whole lot of money.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, you can make a big batch and then you can actually separate it out and freeze it and then, do it, a week later if you feel so inclined. I mean, obviously you don't want to leave it in there for
No.
very long.
Okay, so we also have some homemade chips that Chris made earlier here. And now we're going to plate these guys
Correct.
up. Looking forward to this.
So
Mustard?
what we're adding to the bottom is a garlic Dijonaise. Very, very simple ingredients. So it's just mayonnaise, Dijon mustard, and a little bit of garlic that's been blended together.
How yummy. So simple.
Yeah.
Very, very simple.
You could put this on nearly any sandwich, I would
Correct.
imagine.
We put it on quite a few sandwiches. We put it on our pork roast dip, which we're actually going to be doing next.
Ooh, that looks good.
And then we also put it on our Italian sandwich.
Oh, you'll come to me. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have the Sloppy Joes coming out of the pan here, looking good.
So we're just going to do medium sloppy.
Medium sloppy for Dan.
I'm wearing a light,
Yeah,
Very light.
I have a
There we go.
scarf that I can.
that's
Yeah.
right. That could get in the way
It's
of
like a bib.
things.
I was going to
I'm
say,
gonna-
I'm like,
I'm
just
just gonna
That's
be
my
careful with the scarf.
That's why I wear it. It's my
That's
answer
why.
to a bib.
That's why scarves are so popular.
There it
There you
is. They're
go.
just bibs, really. Dan, you figured out our secret. And what do we got here?
This is our zesty slaw. So this is
Yum,
a mixture
right
of
on
cabbage.
top, right?
Yeah, right on top.
Yes.
So it's a mixture of
Sloppier
cabbage,
Joes.
red and green peppers, red onions, and then the sauce is made with mayonnaise. Ooh, I spilled a little.
That looks
That's
so
okay.
good.
Vinegar.
Woo!
So a little bit of mayonnaise, a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of hot sauce, and Dijon mustard.
Yum.
Yum.
And then that's all she wrote.
Looks pretty darn good.
Okay.
This could feed several,
Yes.
Yes, I know, but
but
We don't
I'm
wanna lose
hungry
that.
and it sure looks
here
delicious.
we go. I can
Thank you so
certainly
much. I
pass
appreciate
these
it.
off to you. So 3 Sloppy Joes.
Three sloppy joes.
All right. Now,
Wow, I'm just going to go ahead and cut this in
I know. I was
half.
gonna say, like, I don't.
now, did I hear correctly? We're making even another sandwich?
We are making another sandwich that we're actually going to make our pork roast dip,
Yum.
which was actually just featured recently on WGN's. What is the show?
Check, please.
Please.
Not Check Please. The other one.
Oh, Best of Chicago or something
Best
like
of.
that.
Thank you
Best of.
so
There we
much.
go. Well, that's quite an honor. Did you get to appear on that show?
I did not.
You
I
were
was
like,
actually
no,
off
I'd
of
rather
work.
be on RBTV. That's my, that's sort of my thing. Well, we got three folks
Fantastic.
deep into some Sloppy Joes over here. Make sure you get them fully
It's sloppier.
sloppy.
Sloppy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, on
I
the
should hope
camera.
so.
It's
Pickles
good.
are delicious.
Say something, someone, right now. I'm
I
just
like
kidding.
the crunch of the coleslaw in there too.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Okay, well, we're going to take another break while you guys are getting your Sloppy Joes on over there. This is Cook This on RBTV. We have Chris Forney from Sawmilly's, and we will be back in a moment to cook one more sandwich with us. Welcome back. We're at RBTV, and we have Cook This going today with Chris Forney from Sawmilly's right here in Riverside. A wonderful sandwich and soup place. Wonderful family-friendly place. We have Mr. Bonarigo, Miss Hughes, and Miss Farlee chowing down on some homemade Sloppy Joes
Loving
over
it.
there.
It was really good.
Absolutely.
What's
you.
the verdict, you guys?
Oh, thumbs up.
So good, they can only make hand signals.
The
So,
flavor is incredible.
well, you're getting another sandwich, guys.
All right.
So
Okay.
get ready.
One
So
more.
I'm ready.
This is your pork.
This is
What'd
our
you
pork
say now
roast.
again? Tell me again. Pork roast
Pork
sandwich.
roast dip.
Okay, pork roast dip.
Yep.
Woo! All right.
So what we're actually going to make really quickly in this bowl is we're going to make a quick herb chimichurri.
Chimichurri, that's a fun thing to say. What's a chimichurri?
Chimichurri it's just an herb sauce. It's from South America, so you see a lot of those typical South American ingredients. So you got like cilantro and parsley, mint. We got a
Yum,
little
yum,
bit of red
yum.
wine vinegar and olive oil.
Excellent. So just a lot of chopping, but fairly easy.
Correct.
Okay.
Very simple thing that anybody, again, can make at home too.
Now, if you watched earlier, you know Chris is in love with sauces. He's a sauce guy. And is this a sauce that you've sort of perfected over the years, your chimichurri? I imagine that's a very specific.
It's one of those. It's one of those things. Like it takes quite a bit of time. And the thing of it is that no chimichurri is ever the same.
That smells so good. Smelling that mint come out
Yeah.
quite a bit. I don't know that I've had a chimichurri with mint in it, so this is going to be exciting.
And then just
A
a
little
little
salt
bit
and
of salt and
pepper. All righty. So the pork sandwich.
So what we're going to... I'm sorry, go
Is
ahead.
this a heated sandwich?
It
or-
is. So what we do is we're going to actually take our pork that's been marinating. We marinate it for 2 days, and then we actually cook it down for 8 hours, and then shred it.
Wow.
And then when we actually make the sandwiches, we cook it in a jus, so that way
see,
it brings
and
the
that's the
temperature back
jus,
up. This is
huh?
the jus.
What kind of jus is that?
We use a beef jus, and then when we add the pork and everything like that to it, it actually brings up that flavor just a little bit more.
Well, what the heck is this?
This is a blowtorch.
Ooh, do
This
we need
is for
welding
fire.
masks or anything like that, or?
No.
No, okay.
So what we're actually going to do is we're just going to melt our cheese on there.
And you just hold your hand up to it, just like that, like, wow, wow. Woo!
Remember, kids, safety first.
That's right. Wear safety goggles at home, guys, for this sandwich. Now, is
Or
this
don't
how
use
you
this.
do it? This is not how you do it at
No,
the
this is not
restaurant,
how we do
right?
it.
Okay, I was thinking.
I was thinking.
So we've got some provolone cheese. Is that what I see there?
Correct.
Yum. Excellent. This is going to be great. Now, you know what people don't know sometimes is that there's specific ways to build a sandwich.
Correct. There is there's a method to the madness.
Tell
as
us
it
your
were.
method. Let's
So
hear it.
how I like to do things is I like to do cheese on top of the on the top portion of the bread.
Yes.
Any sauces I like to do on the bottom.
Not two-sided, huh?
Correct.
Not a two-sided saucer here.
Unless there is a second sauce specifically on the
Ah, I
sandwich, you're not
see.
going to see me putting another sauce on the top.
Well, so we've got our
We got our garlic Dijonnaise.
Dijonnaise garlic, yes.
And then we're going to put a little
our
bit of pickled onion on
pickled
here.
onions. I'm
which-
sure pickled in house, like you guys do everything,
Correct.
right? Okay.
This one is actually cooked and pickled with balsamic vinegar, sugar, salt, and a little bit of red wine.
Yum.
Very good.
You guys must be working for days and days just to get
It is a
everything
multi-day
ready to go.
process for a lot of this, yeah.
That's amazing to me. So we've got our pork coming out of the jus. Been speaking some French here today.
Yes.
Yes.
Poorly,
It is
but
the
it has been
language in the
happening.
kitchen.
And so you go with your sauce on the bottom and then a little
Correct.
bit of a
Little bit of.
condimenty kind of thing.
Yep. We obviously, like I said, we top it with those onions,
Onions.
and then we put our pork on there.
Excellent. So this is kind of like a pulled pork.
Very similar to a pulled pork, kind of crossed with a French dip.
Me and Christy from down south, we eat a lot of pulled pork down there. And once we come out of the womb, they just give us a rib instead of a pacifier.
Pretty much true.
That's right.
I
That's
actually,
right.
I actually lived in Texas for a few years, so
Yeah.
barbecue was kind of
It's
ingrained
kind of
in
a
my
thing
DNA.
there. That's another thing that's so specific, like
Yeah,
your
very much.
chimichurri.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
have. So we have our chimichurri, which smells so good.
So we're also going to put a little bit of kale on here
So it's
as well.
healthy.
Oh.
It's healthy, guys.
Gonna
What
throw
part of
that
Texas
out.
did you live in?
I lived in the what's called the Mid-Cities area, so it's just between Dallas and Fort Worth. It was only about a 10-minute drive from the DFW airport. And then we're just going to top it with that chimichurri,
Yum. All right.
and then we take it
That's a good looking sandwich, Chris.
Yes.
and then just top it.
See, people, you thought you just slap sandwiches together. No. There's a system.
There is.
There's a system.
There is a system.
Or it slides off, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's all going to slide apart if you don't do
you
it
don't
just
do it
right.
right.
It's one of those things. If you've ever seen The Sandwich King on Food Network, he actually shows you how to do proper sandwich building, so that way you don't have any kind of collapses.
All right. Well, we're just about out of time here on Cook This Today. Perfect timing, Chris. You must do this a lot. Ooh.
And there's that.
All right.
And then we'll just do a quick jus here.
Doing some juice. You got to dip that son of a gun. Now, hold on.
Okay, can't
Put those
take it
hands
yet.
down. Got to do the dips. This is a pretty popular sandwich for you guys?
It is a
at
very popular
Sawmilly's?
sandwich for us. Very much so ever since we were on WGN as well.
That ought to do it.
Well, your serving sizes seem very generous.
We try to.
Yes.
Our philosophy is that for what you're paying, you deserve, you deserve your money's worth.
Sure.
Well, Chris, this has been a true pleasure. This is Chris Forney from Sawmilly's right here in Riverside, right next to Choo Choo, serving up delicious sandwiches and soups and family-friendly. So get in there and try it out, because I know you won't be disappointed in your
You will not be
in your
disappointed at
sandwiches
all.
at this place. So thank you for joining RBTV. This is Cook This.
This is really good.